Hello, everybody. Joe Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is Thursday, actually, not Friday. I think we are getting to a point very quickly where it may be time to short again. The funny thing about this market is, it has moved in such a way that, we had that bounce yesterday on Wednesday, but boy, I tell you what, today it was a day that saw just a lot of destruction in some of the stocks, mainly in the NASDAQ, but also in some of the other stocks as well. So we definitely had destruction there. So basically, unfortunately, Cathie Woods, not a good day for Cathie Woods. Kind of a bad day for her. Tesla was down significantly, as was as with some of the other stocks that I did short. Now, I did short a bunch of. I just did a little day trading today, just to kind of get into the Christmas spirit. I shorted a number of stocks today, and I'm going to kind of go over those with you really quickly over here. I don't know if you could see this. This is sort of my scorecard for today. But I was shorting quite a few stocks. I did close my short on DVN, that is Devon Oil. I did close that for a little bit of profit, not bad. Also, Microsoft, I opened and closed that one just really, really quickly. Just skinned that one, not a whole lot of money made there. I did also short Apple today, and I did close the trade before the end of the day. I did close, but my best trade today was on Tesla. Let's kind of take a look at some of that chart here for Tesla. TSLA, of course, is the symbol for Tesla. Let's see if I can get it up here for you. And let's go to the share screen. There we go. Getting all my stuff. I was a little bit late today. I was trying to make another video, and I got a little bit sidetracked. Not a good excuse, but it's my excuse for right now anyways. Let's take a look at the Tesla chart. Just not really doing that great with the Tesla with the Tesla chart. It was down today significantly. It's up after hours. This could give us another shorting opportunity. Interestingly enough, as you know, stocks don't really move in a straight line. They will come down and then they'll pull back up. It's up 2.66%. Here's what I'm probably going to be doing tomorrow with the Tesla stock. I'm going to let it run up probably to about 130 or so, and then if it hits that level, and I'm going to take a look here to see if I can find a shorting location. But if I can, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to let it ride up a little bit, and then I'm probably going to take it out again. So let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. Of course, this is after hours, so it's not going to be quite the same. But if it moves up to about this 130 level, that's probably where. And let's show it for everybody on TikTok there. That is where about 130 that I do expect that we're going to see it bounce again. It's moving up after hours, and let's see if I can push it over to that one. Okay, I'm moving it around here. There we go. There's the daily. All right. So as you can see, I have the after hours on here. It's moved up significantly, closed at 125.35, and it's moved up to 128.60. Now, I do expect that if it gets to about 130, that will be a good short. So I'm going to look probably to short this tomorrow using a buy stop limit order on it. So if it comes up, it'll activate, and then hopefully we'll short it. But as you can see, we're getting significant rising volume on the short. So what's happening here is the big boys are heading for the exit on Tesla, and that's exactly what's happening here. So there's going to be some profit-making opportunity tomorrow on Tesla to short it. I would short it if it moves above about 130. So let me just go back over here to see if I can get back to that 5-minute chart. Now, of course, this 5-minute chart is not going to show the after-hours action. This is just showing the action on it. when it closed. This is where it closed. I do expect it to move up to approximately 130. As you can see, why the reason. Let's move it over here. The reason is because you can see this bump up here, and it's come down, and then I think it's going to come right back up, and I think it's going to continue to move lower. So let's take a look also at the 60-minute chart. That probably will give us a little bit better viewpoint. Yeah, you can see how it's come down, and now it's rallying a little bit. I do expect it to rally probably up to about 130, and I may short it at 130 or possibly higher, possibly there tomorrow. But I will have a limit order on it, and hopefully do it at that time. Here's the thing: when you want to short it, you don't want to short it within the first 30 minutes of the day, because that typically can be very, very disconcerting. So wait until about 9:30 or so time, or wait till about 9:30 Central or 10:30 Eastern before you put your short in. But I do think that we're likely, as you can see, there's resistance here at 140. Okay, there we go. There's resistance here at 140. So I want to get it pretty much right below this resistance here. And this is the 60-minute chart. So we can see that there was some resistance here. It fell through there. I think it's going to come up, maybe not quite as high, but it's definitely going to come up to at least 130, probably to about 135. Currently in the after hours trading, it's trading at about 128. There we go. Okay, yeah, 128. There we go. There's 128. And as you can see, there's pretty strong upward movement. It's up about $3 or 2.47%. So very interesting. Good opportunity there, possibly to make a short on that. So let's go back to kind of what I was doing. I was just kind of day trading today. Nothing really exciting. I did lose a little bit of money on Lithium Motors. Tried to re-short that one. I made my money on that, and I came back and I got spanked. So, oh well. I did make some money on Tesla, as you can see, about $136 today. And Apple, we did make a little bit of money there. Just skinned it. Nothing really exciting. And then Devon. This is why I think there's going to be some weakness in some of the oil stocks. Now, I do have BP here. I'm probably going to be cutting down my position. I'm up about 2% in 40 days. So that's not really a very good performance. I'm probably going to just X that one out and continue with my shorting. So that's kind of the deal here. Basically, all I'm holding right now is BP. As you can see, BP, I'm basically down on this one today, about 1.78%. This is why I'm probably gonna sell this one. I'm up overall, but today I'm down on BP. And then these are the only two that I'm holding short currently are Amazon and Cheniere. And of course, this is the one I shorted today. As you can see, it's moved up a little bit. I do think we're going to see it move down. What I'm looking at is the volume change. There's a 5% volume change increase. So this is going to start to roll over here too. So let's look at that one just really quickly. That's Cheniere. LNG is the symbol on that one. So let me just take a quick gander over there. Here's Cheniere Industry. And let's see if I can put it right there. Okay, so we came down. We tested that 200-day moving average. We are down after hours. So this tells me, and I did short this one today. I shorted it at 152.25. It's currently 152.08. So I'm starting to get in the red there. I'm starting to make a little bit of profit after hours. I do expect this to continue down below the 200-day moving average. Part of the reason I think this will be the correct is because you'll notice that the selling is up to the red line. Now, what does that mean? Of course, this is an exponential chart. I know I'm going through this very quickly, but this shows strength to the downside, and we have 5% more than usual selling pressure. We're down 3%. So I do think that, we're going to test, at least we're going to test the 200-day moving average. Now, the last time we tested was back here in July. This time, I do think it's going to go lower. But, of course, with this one, I will be moving my stop loss down very, very quickly so that if it does reverse on me, I'll take probably skin a little profit there. So who knows what's going to happen there. There was a stock today. This is the IBD stock of the day. It's Tech Resources. Not a stock that I'm tremendously familiar with, to be honest with you, but it's one that seems to be doing well. I mean, it's a oil and it's a coal stock, believe it or not. And so this one, put this on your radar. This is not a tech stock. It's a tech TECK stock. So not a technology stock, but an oil and gas coal stock. I mean, I know it sounds weird that coal would be in such a good way. It was down a little bit today. Again, I do think we're going to roll over with some of these oil and gas and LNG stocks. I do think they're going to move lower, as I think a lot of the inflation numbers have been priced in. There's been a lot of demand destruction out there, and so I do think that we're going to see, it go lower. Unfortunately, I don't know. It seems like the whole market is kind of moving lower. So there you go. There you go. Sarah, thank you for holding on here. Let's take a look at the spider and the QQQ, because this is really going to tell the tale. We want to go over here to the first of the QQQ, because this is what got hit so hard today in the, this is what got hit so hard today. Basically, the reason the Qs are getting hit so hard is because there's many, many big funds that are in these stocks, and that are in the Nasdaq, and really they have to get out. They have to get out because they've lost so much money during this year. So, it's moving lower. The key was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, we moved below that 50-day moving average. That's very critical because that indicates a downward trend. Okay, so that indicates a downward trend on the QQQ. Now, what the QQQ is it is an ETF, an exchange traded fund that covers the top 100 stocks in the Nasdaq. So this is where Apple is. This is where Microsoft is. This is why I was shorting Apple and Microsoft today, because I saw this action on the Qs, and that was just telling me that, hey, some people are going to have to, some of these big funds are going to have to unload some of their big positions in Apple and Microsoft and Amazon. Now, of these two, I closed the short on Microsoft and on Apple, because they tended to they moved down and then they moved up. What I did is I just pushed my stop loss down. When they moved up, I was out, but not with a tremendous profit, with just a scanning. But I was able to stay in Amazon, and I do think that is showing a lot of weakness as well. And I just think that one is also potential for some movement lower. So here's the thing with Qs. If you're in the Qs, I would close it right now, because I do believe, unfortunately, that we are going to a situation. If we go over here to the weekly chart, I want to show you that, where we are, we're again moving lower. We're just moving lower here. And we did. Oops, there we go. We did kind of, it did come down here below 260. It looks like it's headed there now. Once again, it's at 266. So I definitely expect the Qs to move lower. I definitely expect that, we've seen it come up, that got resistance right here, and then it reversed lower. See, this is what happens when a stock comes down. It doesn't come down all at once. It comes down, and then it'll find a floor, and then it'll come up to resistance, down, come up, back up, find a floor, come up to resistance, and so forth. And that's exactly what happened. So now is that, basically on Monday, that was a good day for the market. Tuesday, that was a good day for the market. And then right after that, that's your ceiling right there. So it came up, it got resistance there, and boom, it's going lower. So the QQQ is going lower. Now, would I short it at this level? Probably. I would be a little bit careful on this, because it's testing. It's probably going to come up a little bit tomorrow. If we had a close, and you can just see it barely, I don't know if you can see this, if we had a dagger that was pointing down, instead of pointing up, then I would probably short it because it would probably move lower. But right here, I probably would not be shorting the Qs tomorrow because I do expect it to move up a little bit, possibly tomorrow. So that's kind of my take on it. Let's see. We also want to look at the spider, and this is the ETF that covers the S&P 500. Now, this covers all of the S&P 500, and this is actually a more critical measure of the market. As you can see, we still haven't changed trend. We are still moving lower. Okay, even though we did have an up day on Monday, that was your update right there. We've down, down, down. So what happened is it came down and then it reversed, and then you can see how it's kind of stepping down here. And so I do expect that the spider will go lower tomorrow. Now remember, I do think that we have before we hit a bottom here. I think we're going to go down to at least 320. Okay. That's probably not going to happen until the next year, but we hit 400 on the spider. We got resistance, and I definitely think the next stop is, if we draw the line here, is about 320. See, kind of. I think it's going to go down, and then but I think we're going to head towards 320 here. So again, not a good time to be long any stocks right now. Right now, it's a good time to be short in the market. That's just the way it is, at least for right now. So you want to be careful, very careful here, and try to be, and try to be either short or out of the market. So at least until we get an upward trend. William O'Neill said something very, very critical many years ago. And if the market is in a downward trend, there's really only two things you can do: either be in cash, which I totally recommend, or be short. So I've mostly been in cash, and now I'm trying to move short. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it here. Sarah, again, thank you so much for all your great comments. Elon said he is not selling Tesla stocks till 2005. Please check above link. That's probably true, but it may not matter because he sold so much of his stock. He sold so much of his stock, just recently to pay for the Twitter acquisition. Now, I'm not trying to make any value judgments here. I think Elon is a fantastic. I think he's fantastic. I mean, what he's done in one lifetime, half a lifetime, is what people can't do in 100 people can't do in any lifetime. So I'm not dogging on him at all. And nor am I dogging on Cathie Wood. She's a tremendous, forward-thinking stock picker. But the thing about it is, in the short term, I think the market is going to go lower. I just do. I did put up this slide today. Well, the Dow Jones Industrial was down today significantly. This is, they're now starting to figure in recession. Remember, the stock market is a 6-month forward-looking indicator. It's typically. So it is predicting, right now, the Dow is predicting a lower stock market in 6 months. I mean, that's exactly what it's looking like. And the problem is going to be in employment. I mean, I don't mean to be a negative Nelly here, but a lot of people are going to be getting the pink slip for Christmas this year, unfortunately. I mean, I wish this weren't the case, but it's going to be the case for a lot of people because the companies, especially the big cap techs, are they're oversold. I mean, they're overbought. The stocks there's just too much. They're too overvalued, and so there's just a lot of big funds that are looking for ways to get out of the stocks today and as quickly as possible. So anytime you see a bounce, that's a good time to short because it's probably going to go lower. It's probably going to go lower. So that's kind of my take on it here. All right, so let's Lisa, thank you very much. I've been losing lately a lot lately. Stepped out falling on me. Please advise. Okay, well, again, probably the best thing to do is to maybe talk to me offline, because we're going to have to do, the thing. I love the IBD, I absolutely do, but the thing is, it is something where we have to be careful because their bias is towards longs. Okay, their bias is towards going long on stocks because so few people go short on stocks. So I'm not bagging on the IBD at all. I think they're fantastic. But one thing I will say about this is that they have a bias towards longs, especially tech longs. We're going to see a lot of destruction in. We're going to see a lot of destruction in the um, in the big cap techs. I just believe this. We're going to see a lot of the big cap techs come off of where they have been. So this is the thing. If you want, by the way, if anybody wants to, they can. Let me just put this. Let me just respond. Let's see if I can do this. I'm sorry. I'm trying to learn. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. So you're. And let's see, I'm going to post a comment here. I don't think I can answer everybody's questions here, but Lisa, I'm available if you want to take a look at Dallas Trading Floor at Gmail. So, that is my address. I'll try to answer as many of those as I can. Lisa, and I share your pain. You got it. We've got to change to a different mentality because I do think we're going to go another leg down in the market. But there's ways to make money in it, and I'm going to try to show you my best. I'm going to try my best to show you ways that I'm going to try to make money in this downward trending market. So thank you so much for that comment. Really appreciate it. Hey, Mark, Tesla jumps after hours. What do you think? Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Tesla. And this is a good shorting opportunity because, again, stocks don't go down in a straight line. They come down, they bounce, and they come down again. So my guess here is, and it's just a guess, is that we're going to see another great shorting opportunity for Tesla. I do think that Tesla is probably going to go down. I suspect the eventual price is probably going to be around 100. I don't know. I mean, I can't tell exactly, but I definitely think that we're going to see. We're going to see a leg up, and then we're going to see a leg down. So when you're trading Tesla, it's best to day trade it. I don't try to hold Tesla overnight because it's just too volatile, but you can make a ton of money by trading Tesla. So my guess is tomorrow it's going to open up, and then it's going to open down, and then it's going to pull down again. So what I'm going to try to do is show everybody, do some. I have to learn how to use Twitter better, but I'm going to try to put out something on TikTok or on YouTube on how I'm trading Tesla tomorrow. But I really appreciate that, Mark. It's a great question. And I definitely think it's going to go up to about 130, 135. Then I think we're going to see a reversal lower. So that's just my take. So let's jump on over to the Tesla chart. Again, TSLA, of course, is the symbol. Let's jump on over there. See if there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so hopefully this will show it here on the screen. I'm going to go to the daily chart here and hopefully show that. There we go. Okay, so here's the situation. We're at 128.36 right now on Tesla. It is moving up. I do think though it's going to start to hit some resistance tomorrow morning. And I don't think, let's see, I'm trying to guess where it's going to open. This is why I think it's possibly likely to be a good short at 130. If you'll notice, if you'll notice, we have this upward trend at the end of the day. Now, I do think that, as Jesse Livermore said, and you should read, you should Google Jesse Livermore. He's one of the greatest short sellers that ever lived. And what he does, he always likes to go on round numbers, and I definitely think 130 is the nearest round number. This is where I think we're going to probably see a move lower, but it's hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. But I definitely think, again, nothing goes in a straight line. You can see it comes down, but then it's going to go sideways. It's going to come down. So it's going to come up, and I definitely think we're going to see some resistance at about 130. Why? Well, if we look at this bar here, this is the volume bar here. You can see there was a heavy volume bar at this level. So that is kind of 128, and then this is where it got resistance on the downward trend. It's going to bounce, and then it will get resistance again. It will get resistance at the next highest bar. That's going to be here. You can see. Yeah. There we go. So it's going to come up, and I do think that it's going to get a ceiling at about 130. That's my guess. But anyways, it's a guess. It's a guess. I mean, what can you say? All right. So Matt, thank you very much. Let's look at TTC. Let's look at MOD. That's Moderna. I think it's Moderna. No, it's mRNA. Excuse me. MOD. Let's look at MOD first. This is not a company I am that familiar with. I'm not familiar with it at all, actually. But let's see if we can see something here on this chart. All right, very interesting. Nice, this is kind of what you're looking for. This is the base pattern. It's got a it's got a buy point 1752. It moved up nicely through the buy zone. And then it came up here to the sell zone. This is 20% from there to there. That's 20%. Okay. And then it sort of flatlined, and now it's coming back down to the 50-day moving average. Now here's the thing: if you're buying this long, and you definitely could buy this one long, 99 relative strength, very, very strong stock. I think that where you want to buy it is close to that, is close to the 50-day line as possible. Let's kind of take a look and see where that is. Yeah, it's almost on it's a 1.95% above that 50-day line. So if you are willing to take a nibble on this one, now I'm probably not going to do this because I am essentially not really trying to look any long positions. I'm looking primarily for short positions here. With this one, I would probably say that you could probably buy it here, actually, because it does look like it's gotten some resistance here. So this possibly could be one where you would buy it. I probably will not be a buyer on this one, but it has an excellent checklist, 89%. So that's looking pretty darn good for a stock. Now I don't know the industry. Now let's take a look. This is the of automotive truck original equipment. Okay, so this is a good area. Let's see who the competition is. China Automotive. This is not one I'm familiar with. Allison, of course, I'm very familiar with. MOD, Motor Manufacturing. So I don't know why they're getting this good rating, but it's a good rating. That's for sure. Let's take a look at some of the. See if we can look at the. I don't think it's going to show it here. It isn't. What I got to do here is I got to come out there a little bit. All right, so this is the whole group, and I'm going to look at this one that you've indicated here, Modine Manufacturing, and then I'm going to look at the let's see if I can find. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is what I was trying to get towards. This is the fundamental analysis here on it. And I'll take my ugly face off there because let's just get rid of that. So we can see the technical information here. Go here. By the way, what I'm doing here is there is a difference between fundamental analysis and technical analysis. Technical analysis is the chart analysis. That's what I've been doing. But fundamental analysis is the balance sheet. And that's what I'm going to take a look at here for this company. Now, last quarter, which ended in September, we had a 21% increase in sales, and a 220% increase in profit. So they're doing something right there. Very good PE ratio of 14. Remember, in this kind of market, in a downward trending market, PE becomes more important. Still, this is quite good. Return on equity, 16%. So this is checking all the boxes. We have 339 funds in this, and it's an increasing number of funds. So this is looking kind of like a good play. It's an industrial play, kind of a Rust Belt play. I definitely think you could. I definitely think you could do something here. I definitely think you could do something here with this one. So, man, I think that it looks pretty good. Now, I probably will not be. I probably won't be following you though with this one. I probably won't be following with this one just because my bias right now is either cash or short. All right, let's take a look at the next question. Thank you. Hi, Jim. What do you think of shorting SI? Okay, let's look at SI first. Let's see if it is a good short. SI. Now, shorting, you want to short on an uptrend. I know it sounds kind of very counterintuitive. Okay, here's part of the issue. I probably would not short this one, and I'll tell you why. Okay, it definitely is in a downward trend. There's no question about it. Absolutely no question about it. It's in a downward trend. But the relative strength is 1. So already it looks as if most of the air is out of the tire. Let me just take a look. Let's go over the weekly chart, and I want to take a look to see if this is at 90%. So if you invested $1 in this stock a year ago, you would have 10 cents right now. So this has lost 90% of its value. Here's the thing. I wouldn't take the risk to get 10% because it can go to 0. Obviously, I wouldn't take that risk. I would find something that was a little bit more, that had a little bit more, that is starting to turn over, that had a little bit of more meat on the bone. Let's take a look at Devon. I want to show you this. I do think that the shorts in the near future are going to be in some of these oil stocks. Why? Because, well, the oil stocks had the best run of the last year, and they're starting to turn over. So this is one of the reasons I shorted Devon. I think this is a much better short. Why? Because it came up here. This is its head. It really hasn't created a shoulder. It's kind of creating that shoulder right now. This is the left shoulder, and then this is the head. Oops, and this is the head. And then, as you can see, it's coming up. Where you should short Devon, and I got a little bit excited here. I should have shorted it at the 21-day moving average. That's where you want to short this one. Now, why Devon and not the stock that we just looked at, SI? Well, part of the reason is this one has more meat left on the bone. Okay, you notice how this has only come off 24%, 24.3% from its 52-week high. Well, the interesting thing about that is that means that we have a little bit more than 75% for this thing to go lower. So it's very, very likely that once it moves beyond this line here, that it continues, that it's likely to go lower. And if it does, you want to be shorting from its near high down. So this is what I'm kind of thinking. Now, this has an 86 relative strength, and it's in the oil sector. The oil sector, as of late, it has been the strongest sector, but now it's starting to lose its luster. And that's really kind of where we want to look for shorts, is former leaders. Former leaders is where we want to look for shorts. So that's kind of my take on it. And I'll get back to, let's look at MDGL for as well. MDGL, let's look at that one. All right, MDGL. All right, Madrigal Pharma. I think I've been looking at this stock before. I've never owned this one. So again, a very, very low price stock. This is, look at that. Okay, so this is why you don't want to do this on a low price stock. Okay, it looks like, wow, you bought it here and it's going all the way to the moon, to 300. Let me tell you what this is. This is not, people didn't wake up and say, oh my God, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. What happened is that this is what they call a short squeeze. So many people had been shorting this that finally they capitulated and it went through the roof. Notice how it came off just almost, came off immediately. This one is going to fall back down very, very quickly. Now the question is, can you buy this thing? And I just wouldn't do it. And I'll tell you why. because this stock is just too thin. It's way too thin. It doesn't have enough of a float. So yeah, see short interest here. Here we go. Short interest, 3.8 days, up 4%. So this is very likely to now that it's come up like this, it's likely to come right straight down. So I would not be a buyer here. I just would not be a buyer here, and I wouldn't short it either because it just doesn't have enough float. Look at the daily volume. You want a volume of over a million shares, over a million. You want a volume of over a million shares a day, and that's not the case here. 577, 300. So I just think, this was a short squeeze. See, look at that, up 1,000%. This is a short squeeze. I wouldn't get involved with this. Too difficult. This is a bucking bronco. You could do very well in this, but you could also get kind of squeezed. All right. Okay, then would be a much better short as expected. No, you can't really look at it spiking up like that because it's absolutely true that it has spiked up, but that's a short squeeze, and you don't want to get involved in a short squeeze because you don't have enough buying power to be in it. So I would stay away from this one because it's already been squeezed here. So the limit has been squeezed, as it were. So I would not be a short. I wouldn't do either of these. I mean, I'm sorry to be so negative here. You want to short something that has been a leader. You want to short something that's been a leader but now is moving away from that leadership position. So let's look at EME for Matt. Hopefully we can see that, EME. And, this is interesting. Okay, so I'm not familiar with this one yet. It's in North Connecticut. Okay, electrical construction. Interesting chart. Yeah, okay, so it definitely came out of this cup basis. 96 relative strength. This is excellent. This is definitely, you could definitely buy this one. It's gotten support at the it looks like it's gotten support, so that's looking good. Let me look at the daily chart here to see if there's an entry point here. Now, here's the thing about this one. I probably wouldn't buy this one. Why? Because it's extended. This blue zone here, this is the buy zone, okay? This is the buy point here at 131.72. Unfortunately, we're way up here at 176, and we're in a downward trend. So I just couldn't see buying this at this level. I think this is likely to go lower until it gets support there. So I would not be a buyer of this one long. I just wouldn't. All right, Bomadoc has a question relative. Okay, any thoughts on the direction and price of oil? You know what? I know this is very strange, and you're probably going to think, Jim, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I think that there's a very high likelihood that the price of oil, at least in the short term, is likely to move lower. I know that's weird. Everybody's been talking about the high price of oil, but I do think that the oil prices are now once back in balance, and then I do think they're going lower. Let's take a look at the chart for oil, and that's W. There we go. Okay, so this is the crude. This is the price. This is the chart of oil. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go to the easy chart. And I'm going to put it in for the last 6 months, the last 7 months. Oops. All right. So now, all right, so here we go. Here is the chart of oil. Now, you think, you would think, well, everybody's been complaining about the price of oil. Absolutely. But remember, the oil price takes a while to get through. It's kind of like the pig and the python. It has to go through the system. Since June, since July, we have been in a downward trend on the price of oil. As strange as that sounds, we have been on a downward trend on the price of oil. This is one of the reasons why I'm looking to, I shorted Devon Energy. This is one of the reasons I shorted Devon Energy was because look at this chart. It's going down, the price of oil. So currently, the price of oil is, is on the way down. And I do think that we're likely to see it move lower before the end of the year. I know that sounds very strange, but at least for right now, at least for the last 6 months, the price of oil has been going down. Now, since the first of the year, the oil companies have been the place to be. Now, if you've been watching my show for any amount of time, you'll know that, especially in the beginning of the year, you notice I was heavy in the oils, but I'm now starting to short the oils. Why? Because they're overdone. They're overdone. So I do think we're going to see a downward trend in the price of oil, at least in the near future. So kind of weird. All right, Mr. Jeet, love your comments always. And let's look at CrowdStrike because this is not a big cap tech, but it's a tech nevertheless. CRWD is the. I tried to short this one before. I was unsuccessful in shorting it. Let's go there. Okay, there we go. Oops, no, it's not CrowdStrike. So let's go to CrowdStrike here. All right. There we go. Okay, so here's CrowdStrike. And as you can see, we have, again, surprise, surprise, a downward trending chart. All right. It is now below the 200-day line. It's below the 50-day line. It's below the 21-day, and it's below the 10-day line. So it is in a downward trend. It's got a relative strength of 11. Well, 11, unfortunately, is not a great relative strength. That means that 98% of the market is doing better than the stock. The question is, can we short it? Well, it started to make a move upwards. So I'm going to look to see if this is shortable. Let's take a look at the 60-minute chart. This kind of gives us a way of seeing that. There we go. Okay, this is the 60-minute chart. So what am I talking about here? Well, there was a break here back at 10 o'clock. That's really interesting. Okay, on the 28th. So this has been. So there was a huge break. This was on earnings. There was a huge break here on the 28th. All right. And then we came down, we got a floor, we came up, and then you can see now we're range bound, essentially, here. And now we've just fallen through the resistance here. See how this works? Run through the resistance. If this comes up to 105, between 105 and 110, that would be a good place to short it. My guess is 106.50 right there would be a good place to short it. Why? Because, let's go to the daily chart here, because it's still on a downward trend. And there we go. Now, the question is, we want to short it as close to that 10-day line as possible. So let's see if it's even possible to short it here. No, it really isn't. And the reason is because it's too far away from that 10-day line. We want it to be within 5% of that 10-day line to short it. So we have to wait for it to rally. So I would not short this one, but I would put it on a watch list to short. The actual best place to short it is probably going to be right about at the 10-day line. As you can see, it's been bouncing there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. So it's been bouncing on the way down. So the 10-day line or possibly the 21-day. So I would, if I were going to short this, I would short this at about 118.80. That's this 21-day line here because it's going to probably come up. You see how it's living below that 21-day line here? This 60-minute chart. And if it comes up, it's likely to hit that again. So my guess is don't short it here. Wait for it to rally to the 21-day line, and then you think you might have a good short. So anyways, that's my take on it. I would not go long on this stock. And it's not really a great place to short it. You really want to come up a little bit more. You really want to come up a little bit more and short it there. All right. Well, I have hammered on here for quite a while. Hopefully, you're a member of the hopefully you're a member of the of our group here. It's so easy to get involved. All you have to do is go to www.Dallas Trading Floor. So if I could make a request of everyone out there, please smash that like button, because that helps us, believe it or not. I mean, when I first started doing this, I didn't believe it. I thought it was just a fraud, but it's not. You need to, by hitting the like button, it really helps us get out there and, get out there to people. And because I think that, a lot of people will be interested in learning how to short a stock, because everybody's talking about going long on stocks. We can make money going short on stocks. You just have to know how. And so if we get it out there to a number of people, maybe they can salvage part of their portfolio this year. So, hit the like button on that. Also, if you're on TikTok, please take a look at the link on my bio. It has ways you can get involved. Get on the Action Trade Alerts list. It's free, and you can unsubscribe anytime you want. We also have a Discord room too, where we try to analyze trades. And I'm going to try to really ramp this up for next year if we continue this downward trend, so that we can make money coming into the next year. So again, I'll be back tomorrow. Actually, that'll be the last show, probably before Christmas, obviously. But I'll be back tomorrow at 5. Thanks, everybody, so much. I so appreciate your attention, and thank you very much for taking a look at the show. Hopefully, we can help make some money for you this next year by doing things that are unusual, shorting stocks and doing option plays next year, that we can hopefully make some more money than we probably did this last year, because this was a tough year to go. So thank you very, very much, everybody. And I hope to see you tomorrow at 5. Happy trading.